So let's talk about the last closing that we just had on the buyer side, because we had one on the seller side, and we can get to that story later. So I meet this client. What my team uses Zillow as a lead generation. So any buyer that comes in through Zillow wanting to get more information about a particular listing, they don't get connected to the agent that's selling the home on behalf of the seller, because there's a lot of ethical gray areas that we don't want to cross when a potential buyer talks directly to the seller's agent. Now, if you're talking directly to the seller and you don't want to involve agents, that's a completely different subject. That's entirely up to you. You can do that. I would highly advise against it, but to each their own. This particular client, let's call him Michael. Michael comes in and he says, I'm interested in this house. It looks big enough. We're trying to upgrade and sell our house. We've been sitting in this house for about 20 years, and it's time for me and my kids to get a little more space. So we can help them sell at a discounted rate, and then we can help them find a home to buy all simultaneously. We do it all the time, not a big deal. The first home that they were interested in when we connected was a home that was having an open house that very same day. And they gave me feedback on the house. Oh, it was too small. It was not exactly what the pictures were, which, it happens. Wasn't big enough. So I don't know. Maybe you're not really doing your job. I said, oh, okay. That should have been red flag number one. We spend maybe about 2 months looking at homes because they're working all the time, right? So it's tough to get them into a showing at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night with traffic. So I'm always available for showings. They just weren't. So it took about 2 months. Now, mind you, this is during a time where I'm seeing a shift happening, and I'm telling them, hey, right now is a good time to negotiate prices because things are kind of slowing down. There's not as much demand. However, there are some of these homes that we're looking at that are perfect, quote unquote. Those are still priced well, and those are going to get lots of offers, and indeed they did. But they never pulled the trigger on actually submitting offers for 2 months. So I'm working with them, and come to find out their pre-approval had expired. So whenever you talk to a lender, you have a pre-approval letter. This kind of tells anybody that we're submitting offers to that, hey, there is a lender that's got things that they need to go over to actually get you qualified for a loan to buy a home. So that's a crucial thing to have when you're submitting offers. So I said, okay, well, let's connect with the lender again. Let's get a new one. I connect with the lender because we're a team, right? You have your home warranty people, you have your home insurance people, you have the title people, you have the lender, you have the real estate agent, you have the inspector, you have the appraiser, you have all these people working as a team trying to get this done for a buyer. I asked, hey, Mrs. Lender, in this scenario, what are they pre-approved for? We just had our interest rate hike. How much does that change what they're approved for? They were telling me they're trying to stay under XY monthly payment. Tell me about how strong of a buyer they are. Lender was cackling. They were laughing. The lender was laughing. This should have been red flag number 2. The lender says, yeah, they're pre-approved up to $500,000. I said, okay. I mean, that's a little lower than what we've been shopping for. That's lower than what the previous pre-approval letter that we had was. So why did it drop dramatically? Is it because the interest rate hike? Said, yeah, that's part of it. Also, the buyer had called the lender and said, you know what? They've owned their home for 20 years, and that home, they had been paying $900 a month for a mortgage, and they started running the numbers independently of what $500,000 purchase would look like monthly, and it's nowhere near 900. I don't think 900 covers the taxes per month. So apparently she has started laughing because he had called her to say, we can't go over 500,000. Is there a way to reduce the interest rate? Asking a lot of really good questions, but also asking, will the lender waive all their fees? Will there be a way for us to not have to pay the taxes? Will there be a way for... So that should have been red flag number 3. So anyways, we get past all of that. And so we're out shopping again. We're at month 1.5 of looking for a home, which on average people, it'll take about 3 months to shop for a home. 2 months total is not really that bad. But what took an extra month and a half was actually buying this one house. So eventually there were a couple of honorable mentions that I thought they were really excited about, but they never submitted an offer. So I said, you know what? Hot dog, let's do this. Let's go to this new construction community. It's called Marvida. And we're going to take a look at some of the models that they have there within your price range, but we're not going to discuss anything. We're just going to look and see what you guys like. So I said, you know what? I've been trying to get into the older homes. I've been trying to get those prices down. I've been trying to get those tax rates down. So I'm going to stop being the obstacle for the purchase. Here's a brand new construction community. There's like 5 builders in here that have exactly what you're looking for in your price range. So we go 5 times to this community, which is not a big deal. We narrowed it down after a couple of visits. I get a call one day. We've been working with this super lovely sales representative who help in closing costs. We're offering $17,000. All this. Hey, Michael. Hey, great news. This is the lower interest rate. This is covering most of your closing costs. And we just need to get your home sold, or at least on the market. Get you pre-approved with the lender for the builder, and then we'll get under contract for this home. Easy peasy, easy transition. We do it all the time. I didn't get a call for about 10 days. The sales representative for the builder calls, says, hey, Michael's here. We're about to get under contract. Excuse me? We're about to do what? So I call Michael. And I said, hey, Michael, Lindsay, let's call her Lindsay. Lindsay says we're about to get under contract. Well, he says, yeah, I'm here. I don't know. And then he hangs up. Okay, red flag number 4. Said, all right, well, I'm heading over there. So I'm started driving towards this community, this new construction community. I get a call from Lindsay. Says, hey, we are under contract, but just want to let you know as a professional courtesy, and this is something that we don't condone. Michael was asking if we could remove his agent from the transaction and get the 3% commission to go towards his costs, so that way he can come to the closing with nothing. So there's 2 things about that. Number 1, whenever you get a loan, you have to put something down unless it's a super special program. So there are very, very, very few 0% down programs out there, and not everybody qualifies. Number 2, a builder's not gonna do that. So you go to a new construction community and they say, hey, what if 3% we apply it to... Don't go get a realtor, 3% will apply to your closing costs. Chances are they're doing that anyways. So a lot of these sales reps for the communities, some are salaried, a lot of them are commissioned. So instead of you bringing someone that's gonna hold your hand essentially through the transaction, they're keeping the 6% or 5% or however 4%, whatever it is that the builder is offering, and you don't have representation because the sales representative works for the builder, doesn't work for you. I call Michael. as composed as one can be, and I said, hey, so I heard we're under contract. We need to get your home on the market. I wish you would have told me first because we need to put your home on the market first. Did you tell the lender that your home was on the market? Oh, I told my neighbor I'm gonna sell him my home. Okay, cool. I mean, right. So you already have a contract? No. So, okay. So you're gonna sell your home on your own, and you're gonna buy this one. Perfect. No problem. Look, I'm not crazy. I know that real estate transactions happen without agents all the time. That's not a big deal, and I'm not gonna get in the way and push to be added to a transaction where the client doesn't see any value in me being there. He wanted to sell his home on his own. Great, no big deal. However, it is going to affect the transaction that I'm involved in, so I would like to be updated because we are contingent. And contingent essentially means that for this to happen, this needs to happen first or simultaneously, and simultaneously being as close to within each other's time frame as possible. So a couple of things happened after that. So the next week we're doing a walkthrough because this home was like 97% completed. We're doing a walkthrough already because we're gonna close in about 3 weeks. We're doing a walkthrough. We're putting blue tape all over the place, and if I had not been there, they would have bought a home with mismatching paint, scratched countertops, windows that were falling off. Something I'd never seen before. So we're walking through the outside, and the actual window is sloping down off the wall. Also, the entire fence had to be replaced. So there were these posts that if you touched them, they would move. So the entire fence was flimsy. If we had half a hurricane, it would have fallen. The whole thing would have fallen off. During that walkthrough is when Michael looks at me and is like, man, I'm so glad you're here. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking at him like, okay, no big deal. But you know what? Whatever. It is what it is, right? So we closed recently. It was a really good experience because it taught me to, first of all, get out of the way of what the client wants. If the client wants to go higher than what their budget is, the most I can do is remind them a couple of times, hey, remember we discussed this. If they say, no, I'm willing to do it for the right home, okay, no big deal. I'm here to serve them. And number two, that I don't take it personally. A lot of people are making decisions based on personal finances, and they're not worried about how it might affect others, right? Because you got to look out for your little tribe. And I completely understand and respect that as a father of 3. So I have no qualms about how it all went down. I honestly, if he had come to me, here's the difference. If he had come to me and said, hey, you know what, man, we can make this happen and we can make this work, but would you mind pitching in a small percentage for the closing costs? I would have said yes.